All right, y'all. So we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Chapter 5 and verse 39. So search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. Another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, even Moses, of whom you trust. But had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Let's go back over here to Proverbs chapter 16. We'll get verse 14, and then we'll swing to verse 10. Christian, turn around and pay attention. Don't worry about him, worry about yourself. Right, it says, the wrath of a king is as a messenger of death, but a wise man will pacify it. Proverbs 16 and 10. Put that down, boy. Put it down. Proverbs 16 and 10. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgressed not in judgment. I just want to get divine in sentence, and I believe sentence is judged. Oh, God, that junk crack, man. Now, the word for divine sentence is one word. The word is kasem. When you look at it, it's a good sense that the king's lips are oracles. So that it's the word is in the king's lips. The character you have here is Kuf, Samak, and Meen. And you can proceed with that. Kuf, Samak, and Meen. Abigail, sit up. Sit up. There's not enough room on that carpet for y'all to be stretched out. And it could also translate to divine center. It could also mean divine nation. But you got Kuf, Meen, for Kuf, Samak, and Meen. No. What y'all, anybody have anything for that? And I would see why you would say that. But we're looking at how this one in this regards is a divine sentence that's coming out of his mouth. So you get a divine sentence, what just comes to mind when you hear a divine sentence? And it says also that the king's mouth will not transgress when he renders judgment. Now you look at a divine sentence, that means that this is a decree. If you being sentenced to something, this is a godly sentence. something that you being appointed to receive, because remember, look, it said his mouth will not transgress in what? In judgment. See, I want you to come over here to Psalms 99. Please, Psalms 99 is what I did. Psalms 99 and 1, if you would. It says, Yahuwah reign, let the people tremble. He sit between the cherubims, let the earth be moved. Yahuwah is great in Zion, and he is high above all people. Let them praise your great and terrible name, for it is Kadash. The king's strength also love judgment. You do establish equity, you execute judgment and righteousness in Jacob. Now come over here to Revelation chapter 19. Revelation 19 and 11. All we really want is Revelation 19 and 11. But it says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he do judge and make war. Now he's coming to execute a divine sentence, and he says without his mouth he will not transgress. I want you to pause. I want you to come to Isaiah chapter 11. It's still going to tie back to loosely that the wrath of the king is his messenger of death, because the wrath of the king is coming after a divine sentence has been decreed, and that his mouth he will not come with incorrect judgment. See, men come with incorrect judgment regularly because men try to judge. Well, he about to tell you in Isaiah 11, so it don't even make no difference. Isaiah 11 and 1. Isaiah 11 and 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The Ruach of Yahuwah shall rest upon him, the Ruach of wisdom and understanding, the Ruach of counsel and might, the Ruach of knowledge and the fear of Yahuwah. It shall make him quick of understanding in the fear of Yahuwah. He shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. So notice that it says that with righteousness he will judge the humble. This is what he said he'll do. And he said that he will slay the wicked with the word or the breath of his lips. Now, I want you to come over here to John chapter 7. John chapter 7, verse 19. Put it up. John chapter 7, verse 19. Did not Moses give you Torah, yet none of you keep Torah? Why you go about to kill me? The people answered and said, you have a devil who go about to kill you. Yahushua answered and said unto them, I've done one work and you all marvel. Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers. And you on a Shabbat circumcise a man. If a man on Shabbat receives circumcision, that the Torah of Moses should not be broken, are you angry at me because I have made a man everywhere whole on Shabbat? Judge not according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Now remember, it says that a divine sentence or decree that comes from the king, his mouth is not going to transgress in judgment. The word for judgment there is mishpat in that particular verse. So you know that he is not going to give the wrong answer. Why do we need to look at that law-wise? Deuteronomy 25. 25 and 14, if you would. Deuteronomy 25 and 14. From Deuteronomy 25 and 14 to Proverbs chapter 8. From Proverbs chapter 8, Mark chapter 3. He said, you shall not have in your house diverse measures of great and of small, but you shall have a perfect and just weight. A perfect and just measure shall you have, that your days may be lengthened in the land which Yahuwah your Elohim give you. For all that do such things and all that do unrighteously are an abomination unto Yahuwah your Elohim. So this is why this is important, that if he's going to give a judgment or a sentence, that his mouth is not going to transgress that judgment. He's not going to speak something that is incorrect according to the word. Matter of fact, in Romans chapter 3, I believe, Paul gives you a statement that how can you overcome when you're a judge, but you have to be justified in your sayings. That means the words that come out of your mouth have to line up with what the text says. Can't be your personal feelings or emotions. You know what I'm saying? Your personal perspective. It has to be judged correctly. But the biggest things that the scribes and Pharisees' error was is they did not judge correctly. Now, I mentioned that earlier when we went the first time today in regards to, I don't recall what exactly my word used was. But that wrath of the king is pacified because of being purged, or it's purged because of your belief and obedience to the word. But when you allow that word, to remove the chaos that is entered into your heart because you've chosen to rebel, then you can know what is right and what's wrong. But you can't know what's right and what's wrong unless you're doing his will. So therefore, you can't tell somebody they're in error if you're in error. Like we read in Romans 2, that you can't condemn somebody for doing something and then you're doing the same thing. Because that's not righteous judgment. Your mouth will transgress the judgment. Matter of fact, before we read Proverbs chapter 8, let's go look at Matthew chapter 7. Matthew 7 and 1. Because now, of course, he's talking about, judgment at the end. But before we get to judgment at the end, you have to see how Yahushua judged correctly before he even got to the end. And you don't judge things on what you hear. Because that's what a lot of people mess up at, is you want to judge a matter based off what you heard. You can't even always judge matters based off what you see. You have to judge things righteously. Because you could judge something on how it appears to be and be wrong. You would definitely judge wrong if you judge based off what you heard. You can only be able to render something according to the perspective of the person you're talking to or how it would benefit them. But you can't really judge a matter unless both people who are involved in the matter are present. That's why I done told you, don't come tell me what somebody done did and you ain't brought them. Because there ain't much I can tell you. You're going to have to go get them. And if you're not going to go get them, I'm not going to go ask them about it. Because if you the ones felt like you were offended. So if you were offended, you should have brought them with you. Then I can judge the matter. If you don't bring them with you, I personally just don't care. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that I can do, and I'm not going to pursue it. I'm not going to entertain it. There's nothing that I can do with that. Because the law tells you not to do that, does it not? One witness is not enough. So if it's an instance where it's one witness, then that one witness has to bring that person so that it can be determined by diligent inquisition, as the law say, to see who is right and who is wrong. Because it's not about people's feelings or perspectives. It's about what is right and what is wrong according to this. Because everything's going to have to come back to this. And if you're right, then the word will justify you. If you're incorrect, then the word is going to reprove you, and you're going to have to correct your deed, depending on what it is and what the situation and circumstance is. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 1. Judge not, that you be not judged. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. Now, what did we just read in the law? He said you need to have a just what? Weight and measure. So what you seek to measure to someone is going to be measured back to you if your judgment is not just. That's why he say you'll condemn yourself when you judge somebody or something that you are doing also. You can't judge somebody and say you're a homosexual, but you're an adulterer, or you're a whoremonger, or you're a fornicator, or a homosexual yourself. You can't do that. See, don't always, and a lot of people, because this is human nature, well, we'll get caught up in, well, you did this, but this person did that. You don't care. Both of you transgress. Who's going to correct themselves? Because he ain't going to look at this. Because what did he tell you in the Epistle of James? He said, if you break one, what have you done? You done broke the whole thing. So he's not looking at this is worse and that is worse. He's looking at you a sinner, he's a rebel, you're a transgressor, you're an offender. That's all he sees. See, that's the human machinations of the mind. Well, we try, because you know why we get that from? The United States court system. You know what I'm saying? Well, he just in here for petty theft, and he just in here for burglary. Well, he got a murder. He a child molester. The child molester should get more time than the dude with the petty theft. But Yahuwah look at it at everybody going to hell. That's how he see it. He don't see, I'm going to give you 10 years. I'm going to give you 6 months. I'm going to give you 3 weeks. He don't see that. And that's why our judgment gets skewed off of, because that's what you're accustomed to when you see in judgment being rendered. The severity of a criminal case that someone is incarcerated for and the amount of time that they're given for that case. So you begin to look at offenses, and some offenses are worse than others. So it doesn't matter. Yahuwah does not judge that way. He does not judge that way. He looks at it, you transgress, that blood is upon you if it's a sin unto death. Because there are sins that are not unto death. If you commit a sin unto death, he ain't looking at a Sabbath breaker is worse than a swine eater. He look at it, I hate both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why we don't see it that way is because we judge incorrectly. Nevertheless, he said, why behold you the mote that's in your brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in your own eye? Or how will you say to your brother, let me pull the mote out of your own eye, and behold, the beam is in your own eye? He said, you hypocrite, first cast the beam out of your own eye, and you shall see clearly to cast out the mote out of your brother's eye. Is he telling you not to judge? No, he is not. He's telling you get your game tight before you judge. Because if you judge and you out of pocket, that's coming back to you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because he's going to measure that back to you. That's how he operates. Let me come over here to what it is. Luke chapter 6. Let me see if Luke 6 got a little bit of different word and the same concept. Yeah, it got a little different word. You condemning yourself. You could be right, but you still condemning yourself. So your judgment don't even matter because you really just damned yourself. You come and tell me you shouldn't be getting drunk, but you were just getting drunk yesterday. Both y'all going to hell. Yeah, what you said was correct, but nigga, you's a hypocrite because you're doing the same thing. That's what we read in Romans 2. He say, you fool, you hypocrite. You condemn yourself. And then that means you telling Yahuwah you despise the long suffering and forbearance of Elohim because you have the utter audacity to open your mouth and condemn someone for the very actions that you're committing yourself. I come back to that Romans 2. Remember what he said? He said, you say you a light to the blind and a teacher of babes. He said, do you teach? Do you abhor idols? Do you commit sacrilege? He was like, before you can teach somebody else, you got to teach yourself. How can two crackheads get each other off crack? You know what I'm saying? Put it to this way. How can two women who don't know how to be a wife tell each other how to be a wife? That's impossible. You just running in circles. You know what I'm saying? You're just talking to hear yourself talk. How can two niggas who don't know how to be a man tell each other how to be a man? You know what I'm saying? You're just running in circles. Because somebody has to actually take the time to learn it to be able to give it to someone else. You have to master something before you can actually tell somebody what to do. You can't tell somebody how to do something you haven't mastered because eventually you will get exposed. And it ain't just got to be with no word. Just anything in life, period. Everybody done ran across somebody who was talking about something, and then you found out over time that nigga did not know what he was talking about. It sounded good until you actually paid attention to the actions and see, oh, this nigga here just talking. And then it discredits you, and you lose all your credibility. See, people don't understand how vital it is to maintain credibility. You can do things and your credibility goes out the window. That's your boy. Diaper change, man. Help him out. Seriously, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I done told y'all before, how many times I told you, be careful what stuff you share that's pertaining to conspiracy theories. Make sure that you know that there's good, ample evidence to back up what you're talking about. Because if not, it will ruin your credibility. People will not take you seriously. They won't hold your word as having any weight. That's no different. Shoot, boy. I grew up with a nigga. That nigga used to lie just for the sake of lying. You know what I'm saying? Just that nigga be like this here, boy. Like, you say how I played for the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody know this man played for the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Just volunteer lies for the sake of volunteering lies. Well, when you do that, now this is an extreme case because, you know, clearly this is somebody you ain't going to take seriously because you grew up with him doing it. But when somebody is not truthful on a consistent basis, no one holds your word with any weight. That's why Yahuwah said it's impossible for him to lie. That way you can hold his word with some weight. He never told you no lie. So you don't have a reason to doubt him. People understand when you tell lies, people will doubt you. And that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at it that way. Your credibility is serious, and you have to maintain it, especially a man. Because a man, you already been told, every man been told your word is your bond, so you have to keep your word. What you say you're going to do, you got to do it. What you say you about, you got to be about it. Because if not, it will cause people to doubt your validity of your masculinity for the most part. Because they're going to be like, your word ain't worth nothing. And if your word ain't worth nothing as a man, what are you really worth? Luke 6:37. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. So look at what he's telling you, right? Don't be so quick to condemn somebody, because then he won't be quick to condemn you. Now, you do have in certain instances, you have to let people know. You see, there's a difference of judgment, and there's a difference of suffering sin upon somebody. Like, don't sit there and see somebody transgressing and don't say nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what that's at in the law, correct? Oh, that silence is yeah, but I'm telling you that. Shoot, you could have threw a random book out there for all I know.
I just don't want to talk about seeing your neighbor.
Come on, Leviticus 19. You was all right. I just want to see if you could get more specific. Or you like to go to the Pacific. You look like a nigga named Billy. Right there, man. 19 and 17. He said, you shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall anywise rebuke your neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You know what I'm saying? So rebuking them is as if, because if you see somebody, see pause, 1 John chapter 3. Somebody in the potty boy. 1 John 3:13. Says, marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. He that loved not his brother abide in death. Whosoever hate his brother is a murderer, and you know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in it. So you would hate your neighbor if you seen that they had sin on them and you didn't rebuke it. Again, I ain't talking about what a nigga told you. I'm talking about what you know. If you know they in sin, that means firsthand knowledge. See, we get caught up a lot of that in this world of second, third, fourth hand information, because that don't mean that that's factual. If you have firsthand knowledge that somebody is committing sin, you're supposed to correct them in that matter and go on about your business. You ain't supposed to be like, oh, you know you're going to hell. Well, you know you ain't supposed to be doing that. And you go on about your business. What they choose to do, that's on them. But if you see them doing it and you don't correct them, then you basically are a murderer because you hate this person in your heart. Because what did Yahuwah say about correction? What did Yahushua say about correction? As many as he loved, he chastens and rebukes. So if you see somebody in sin and you did not rebuke them, then what have you just told them? You don't love them. You hate them. And therefore, according to the text, you are a murderer. Therefore, what's that? He said, your neighbor. He said, you shall not bear any. She said, you should not hate your neighbor in your heart, but you should anywise rebuke your neighbor to not suffer sin upon him. Your neighbor would be what the New Testament would say is your brother, because they would be doing the will of Elohim, which they therefore make them your brother. So if you seen your brother in a sin and you did not correct him, then according to the law, you hate your brother in your heart. And according to what the Apostle John just stated, you are a murderer. And since you are a murderer, you do not have everlasting life abiding in you. Because how, when the creator of all things chastens and rebukes those that he loves? Now, see, that's the stuff that we don't pay attention to. You lose your soul behind that. You know what I'm saying? See, we get caught up on, I ain't eat no pork. Like, okay, brother's been posting this here, and we done went over this before. But I'm going to just share it because it's on my mind. Oh, Yahuwah got everybody keeping the Sabbath now. No, he don't. See, just because you sit your black behind down on the Saturday and don't do nothing, but just because you sit down and hear the word on the Saturday, don't mean you keeping the Sabbath if it ain't coming from a pure heart. But they kept the Sabbath back then too, and what did he say in the book of Isaiah about them Sabbath? He despised them. He hated them. Didn't want nothing to do with them. Because they didn't do it from the heart, they did it with a wicked heart, and they were transgressing when they came. Yeah. So those Sabbaths were useless. Because he said in Isaiah 58 to call his Sabbath a delight and a joy, something that you look forward to, something that you brings you joy, something that you delight in because it would delight your husband, it would delight your father. But since you just look at it as, I can't do this and I can't do that, I'll be glad when it's over. And it would have said to Amos, when will the Sabbath be gone so we could lay corn? He like this here. You might as well went out there and laid that corn. You might as well have went out there on that date. You might as well went and rolled up that blunt. You might as well went and did whatever it is that you wanted to do, because you doing it halfway or what's the word I'm looking for? Feeling compelled to do it out of obligation instead of instead of dedication, instead of faith and confirmation of the righteousness of Yahuwah. You feel like you might as well don't even do it. See, we don't look at it that way because you used to serving people lukewarmly, and people accept lukewarm service. But you should know from Cain and Abel, did he accept Cain's lukewarm service? He said you might as well have not done it at all. That's how Yahuwah see it. If it's not coming from the heart and it's not coming willingly and it's not coming with joy because this is what you want to do, and he was like, you just might as well don't do it at all, because he's not going to accept it. And nor should he. You know what I'm saying? And nor should he. He said the same thing about the feast day. He said, get him away from it. The man said they wearied his soul. They wearied his soul. Because they coming up thinking, because I brought a couple turtle doves and a few sheep and sacrificed them and sat down, that he going to be satisfied with this. That's why a lot of people going to go to hell, because you feel like you're back in high school and you're doing just enough to pass. And Yahuwah don't want nobody who want to do just enough to pass. He wants you to do it because this is what your heart to do. Because this is what brings joy and delight in your soul, that your maker and your husband is honored and esteemed by your service to him. Outside of that, he don't want it. Like I said, who would want it? What man would want a woman who just serves him because she feels like she's obligated to do it, not because she wants to do it? What type of service is that? I mean, you don't do it with joy. That means that grieves the person who has authority over you, and that's not going to be profitable to you. And he told you that in the Epistle of Hebrews. Don't grieve the soul of them who have rule over you. That's not profitable for you. You're not going to get no gain from that. And we grieve this man continually. He said, don't grieve his Ruach HaKodesh to the day of redemption. And we grieve it. And you think he's supposed to be happy and satisfied. You know, in the book of Zechariah, he said, you know, they said, oh, we fast. Have you taken notice of our fast? That's all we do. Yahuwah, I ain't been eating no pork. You ain't seen me. That's a wicked heart. That's a wicked heart. You ain't seen when I did this here. What type of nigga say that? You ain't seen me when I did this? You didn't hear me when I said this. That means you doing it because you feel like he owed you. Because you did it. And he don't owe. As a matter of fact, Paul says I said that. We'll come back to Luke chapter 6, Romans chapter 4. Four and 16. Romans 4 and 16. He said, therefore, it is a faith that it might be by grace. This is Romans 4 and 16. To the end of the promise might be sure to all the seed, not only to which is of Torah, but to also which is of faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. As it is written, I have made you a nation. I think I skipped what I want. It makes sense. I did skip what I wanted. That's my apologies. 4 and 1. I didn't want that far. He said, what shall we say then that Abraham, our father, as pertaining to the flesh, have found? For if Abraham was justified by works, he had whether of esteem, but not before Elohim. See, that's what we get caught up at, say, on a natural level. You do stuff and you do the work so you can esteem it yourself. That's why he say, how can you believe which would seek honor one of another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? See, the honor that comes from Elohim only is going to be based off your delight to serve him. And I think I'm going to have to swing back around to that First Chronicles 28 because I keep mentioning it. Oh, you got a clown car, huh? That's how you like it. I'm not a clown because I don't care to put on makeup and floppy shoes. Verse 2. Verse 3. But what saith the scripture? Abraham believed Elohim, and it was counted to him for righteousness. Now to him that work is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. But to him that work not, but believe on him that justify the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. See, that goes back to why I was telling you why the publican was more justified than the Pharisee, because the publican had faith that he knowing that he would justify those who were out of pocket. Not that I fast twice in the week, I do this. See, when you have that type of mindset, or I do this and I do that, you're proud of you going to hell. Because now it's of debt. You feel like he owed you. And it's not based off the fact that he has extended to you a free gift. When he's extended to you a free gift, then you rejoice and delight in the extension of the gift, because you know that you did not deserve that. So therefore you delight to serve. First Chronicles chapter 28. I know I need to get to Mark chapter 3. I know I mentioned something else, but I can't recall what it is. First Chronicles chapter 28 and verse 8. You got your hands folded like a nigga took your lunch money. Nigga took your lunch money, cuz? You look like you'll fight for your lunch money. I don't know. Them slippers say different. Yeah, them look like them slippers you walk up right up on some girl house in the neighborhood. I heard what you post about me on Facebook. Yeah, you one of them. One of them niggas. Praise the Lord. There you go. He said, now therefore, in the sight of all Yasharal, the assembly of Yahuwah, and in the audience of our Elohim, keep and seek for all the instructions of Yahuwah your Elohim, that you might possess this good land and leave it for an inheritance for your children after you forever. And you, Solomon, my son, know you, the Elohim of your Abba, serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind, for Yahuwah search all hearts and understand all the imagination of the thoughts. If you seek him, he will be found of you. But if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. Look at what he says. He understands all the imaginations and thoughts of the mind. So he already got the insight of every plot, plan, and invention you coming up with. That's why he say you need to serve him with a perfect heart and a willing mind, but you're not going to be able to do that if the rebellion is present. When the word comes and you rebel against it, now you've allowed chaos to enter into your mind. And now once you've allowed chaos to enter into your mind, this allows you to be separated from your Elohim. Now your Elohim will not hear you. Now your Elohim will not extend his arm to deliver you, because he can't do it, because he's too pure to even look upon such things, because now you're contrary to him. So now he must be contrary to you. And then we feel like while we're in this hypocritical state, that we could continue to serve him in this fashion, and we justify it. And we are not. Come over here to Luke chapter 6. Buffy man, who you yelling at? Come here, Muffin man. Come on. Oh, you gonna sit right there? You're a good lad. Leave Muffin man alone. 6 and 37 again. Luke 6 and 37. Those thanks. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. Forgive, and you shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Now he extended it further. He's saying that, hey, give, and you'll get it back. You know what I'm saying? He's basically telling you, just wait, just measure. The type of weight that you measure out is the type of weight that you're going to get back in return. You measure out condemnation, condemnation shall return unto you. You measure out judgment, judgment shall return unto you, unless under one instance, and we'll read that in a moment. Hey, what you doing, bro? Sit down. Don't worry about that. Sit down. He said he spake a parable unto them, and the blind lead the blind, shall they not both fall in the ditch. And what did he say about the person that had the beam in his eye? He can't see. So if he got a beam in his eye, and you got a mote in your eye, and both of y'all blind, how can you see? How can somebody who can't see lead somebody else who can't see? That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? You can't really help somebody in a craft or in a vocation or in a service that you have not perfected yourself. He said the disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. I behold you the mote that is in your brother's eye, but perceive not the beam that is in your own eye. Either how can you say to your brother, brother, let me pull the mote that's out of your eye, when you yourself behold not the beam that is in your own eye? You hypocrite, cast out first the beam out of your own eye, and then you shall see clearly to pull the mote that is in your brother's eye. For a good tree bring not forth corrupt fruit, neither do a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree shall be known by his own fruit. For of the thorns do men not gather figs, nor of bramble bush gather they grapes. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bring forth that which is good, and the evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bring forth that which is evil. For the abundance of the heart is mouth speaks. So this is why he's telling you that. Because if he's telling you you don't behold that beam, he's pretty much telling you you a corrupt tree that's trying to bring forth good fruit. That is impossible. So why don't you take this time and make that tree good so the fruit can be good, versus being a corrupt tree, which is really bringing forth corrupt fruit, but you want us to believe that it's good. And that takes too much energy. You should rather spend your energy in being authentic and just and upright in your service than spending energy and being counterfeit. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Why y'all move around? Why y'all just can't sit down? Why? Y'all be paying attention to stuff that don't even got nothing to do with you. Sit down, please. Yeah. What? Y'all around here chasing them churn? You ain't chasing them churn. You just want an excuse to get up. Okay. First Corinthians chapter 2, right? Verse 12. Eugene, sit down. Sit down. Cover yourself up with the covers. Don't cover yourself up with the covers if that's what you want to do. Or go find her then. Go find her then. Chapter 2, and verse 12. He said, now we have received not the Ruach of the world, but the Ruach which is of Elohim, that we may know the things that are freely given us, Elohim. Why is this important? Because we already read in Isaiah 11 that the Ruach that was on Yahushua would make him quick to what? To judgment, and to judge righteously, and with equity, and to reprove the meek. Notice how he said to reprove the meek, or to correct the humble, which takes us back to another thing, what we mentioned. You can't correct a proud person. One of the verses in Proverbs tell you that. He said, correct a fool and he'll what? He will despise you. Correct a wise man and he will love you. See, a lot of people don't want to take correction because you really a fool because it makes you mad. You mad because you wrong. How you get mad with a nigga because they telling you, hey man, you might want to tighten up when you know you wrong. That means according to the word of Yahuwah, you a fool. Because only a fool would despise correction. Matter of fact, he told you that in Proverbs chapter 1, that fools despise learning and fools reject knowledge. That's what fools do. And you know what fools end up doing after they do that? Crying on Yahuwah after he done been calling for him and you ain't come. And then he say, you know what? I don't hear your cries. And when your calamity and your fear come, I will laugh and mock you. What you think you? Matter of fact, who laughed and mocked the people? Because some people feel like no righteous man should be mocking people. But there was a man who mocked somebody. Easy one, y'all know who it is. Shoot, Yahushua did it too, but I ain't referring to him. He mocked them people all the time. Elijah mocked them people. He said, where's your God at? Is he sleeping? Maybe he's on a long journey. Maybe it's going to take him. You're supposed to, you idiotic fool. You's a dummy. You worship nothing. You deserve to be mocked. Now, Nehemiah told him, you come back around him, put these hands on you. That's what he told him. He said, come around here on the Sabbath one more time, boy, I'm going to lay hands on you. Nehemiah ready to put them hammers on him. But you know why Nehemiah was willing to do that? Because he was firm in what he believed in. Nehemiah wouldn't even allow the men to put fear in his heart by stopping him from doing the work that he said to do. He said, if I fear, he said, if they try to put fear in my heart and my reason cause me to sin. Because to have fear in your heart is sin. You see, the people don't like to have that conversation either. How can you say, again, y'all know what the verse says, perfect love casts out fear. So if you're not made perfect in love because you have fear, then what does that mean? You hate Yahuwah. Because Yahuwah, there's no gray area. It's black and white. It's either or. You either believe or you don't. You either love him or you don't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, well, you know, I'm working on this and work. He doesn't operate that way. See, men, when you look at a lot of the laws that men have, don't they have a lot of loopholes? A lot of means for interpretation that you can interpret any way you want, depending on who's reading. Like they send cases to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court interprets the laws and the Constitution how they see it. That means that's gray area. The word of Yahuwah is not up for private interpretation. It say what it say. And see, that's why people don't like it, because it's absolute. It say what it say. You know what I'm saying? And that man say, don't do this, don't do that. This is the judgment for this. This is the judgment for that. You ain't got to read into it. Well, what do you think he meant? You think he meant this or you think he meant that? No, he's very clear. I seen a brother today telling women that if your husband put his hands on you, you can get divorced. No divorce decree at all. You can just get up and leave. He violated the covenant. Where's that at in the law? Where's that? Now, that's not to say you're supposed to stay there and let a nigga go oops upside your head, because you definitely supposed to slide. You know what I'm saying? That nigga punch you upside your head. You need to be punching your clothes in a bag and dip. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up now. One of these niggas go upside your head, punch you up. Don't call me talking about he punched me. And I'm like, you still there? Yeah, well, I hope he punch you again. You know what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to have enough sense to slide. Straight up now. Y'all in the house and that nigga sock you like you y'all playing rocket sock robots, you better go ahead and dip. That's not of Yahuwah. You ain't seen the Lord punch nobody upside the head like you. Remember what the text tell you, right? Paul told you that no man has ever yet hated his own flesh. How a man treats his wife is how he feel about himself. I done told you that numerous times over the years, how a man treat his wife, how he feel about himself. You know what I'm saying? So if you punching your wife upside the head, that's how you feel about yourself. Now you can slide, but you can't marry nobody else, though. See, that's the part of nobody. One lady say, you just got to leave him until God gives you a true man of God. No, you took the time to have that man vetted before you married him. That's what you should have did. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should have did. Yahuwah don't give no caveat. It's only one caveat for getting remarried, and it ain't got nothing to do with something that happened to a woman. That's if that man find you not to be a virgin. Well, guess what? Ain't nobody paying no dowries. Ain't none of y'all ain't no virgin. You know what I'm talking about? You can touch your lips up all you want. You was defiled before you even got around. Acting like you was some pure maiden. Wasn't no pure maiden. Lies you tell. I know you ain't got nothing to say. You came around here defiled with child. I'm telling you, shoot, there ain't nothing to be shoot. Nigga, nigga, I'm gonna tell you. Told her straight up and down. You want to play, you better get your little official price that you want to play a house, because you ain't gonna bring your black behind around here and do it. That junk ain't cool, but see, that's why people like to see. You see niggas doing it. Well, you just gotta repent. No, man, don't bring your stinking behind around here with that. You need to tighten up on your back, bro. You know what I'm saying? That junk is not acceptable. It's not cool. Stop doing it. You know what I'm talking about? The bottom line. Hey, look here, man, shoot. Ain't nobody in here had no child that wasn't defiled. You can roll your eyes all you want to. The firstborn of everybody in here was defiled. It is what it is. Some knew better, some didn't know no better. Don't change the fact that it occurred. You know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is, and she might be a virgin at 36. I don't know. I can't say. You know what I'm talking about? She said she knows somebody who's 36 say she was a virgin. Very well may be. You know, AC Green said he was a virgin until he was about 45. That was a basketball player who played for the Lakers. That was hard to believe. You got some real strong self-control if you could be in LA in the 80s and keep your penis in your pants. But then at the same token, if you ain't never had it, you don't know what you're missing. If you ain't never had it, you don't know what you're missing. That junk only affect people because they done had it. Now you done had it, and your flesh done been engaged, and now you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Versus if you ain't never done something, you don't know the feeling to know what you're missing. Like most of y'all ain't gonna smoke no crack. You ain't never had it. You don't know what you're missing. Somebody who done smoke crack, they wrestle with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they don't wrestle because that's an extreme case that I know most of y'all not gonna try. I hope not anyway. Yeah, because life ain't never that hard to go get a rock. Shoot, so it is shooting. Some of them it wasn't that life was hard. Some of them just like to get high. You know, white people druggies. They like to try stuff. You know what I'm saying? But for real though, I'm saying that because I've been around people who got off it. They can tell you about how they wrestled with that for a while because they had tasted that. So it was something that they had and they missed whatever it was that they were deriving from that. But someone who's never done it, you don't know what you're missing. That's the same token with some people like, oh, I never smoked weed. For somebody who did smoke weed and enjoyed it, it'd be different from somebody who didn't because they never had it. So they don't know what they're missing. It's not something that they have a craving for because their flesh was never activated for that. You know what I'm saying? This is why he tells you to mortify your flesh. Because when you mortify your flesh, the things that you had a desire for at one time, you will no longer have a desire for. Because that part of you would be deceased. But if you keep those things alive, then yeah, you will have those cravings, and eventually that craving could overtake you. Because that flesh is weak. You know what I'm saying? The root, your spirit is willing to do what the word say, but that flesh wants to do what it makes it feel good. That's why he said you can find yourself, the things that I should do, I don't do. That's why you can find yourself doing things out of pocket that you know you shouldn't do because you delight in the pleasure that is derived from it. Or as your man used to say, you should sit down there and cry after they done had sex. Let's pray to Yahuwah. But that desire not to do it was not strong enough from the start to stop you from getting to that point where you feel like, oh, let me cry and pray because I've done something that I shouldn't have done. That means, yeah, your flesh wanted to do that, and your spirit was willing not to do it. But you decided to go in with the flesh and then think you would be justified because you said, God, forgive me. I've sinned. When he looking at you like, this nigga full of crap. You don't mean this. You know what I'm saying? You don't mean that. And the reason why he say you don't mean it, not because you said it the first time, but because you did it multiple times. That's how you know you don't mean what you say. Because if you meant what you said, when David did that with Bathsheba, did it say he ever did anything like that ever again? Never did it again. That's what godly repentance is. You know what I'm saying? You did it, you never do it again. Not, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, how they teach you when you use a jit, God forgive me. God forgive me. You don't mean that crap. You don't mean it. That's just like walking up to somebody and slapping them in the face. Forgive me. Wow, forgive me. You just taking advantage of the fact that you feel like they're supposed to forgive you, so I'm gonna just keep on slapping you. Nevertheless. Verse 13. Which things also we speak not in the words which man wisdom teach, but with the Ruach HaKodesh teach, compare spiritual things with spiritual. The natural man receive not the things of the Ruach of Elohim, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. So they're not going to be able to judge correctly. Someone who is a carnal person, the words of Elohim and his judgments are foolishness, and they can't know them, nor can they discern between what's right and what's wrong. But he that is spiritual judge all things, yet himself is judged of no man. For who have known the mind of Yahuwah, that he may instruct him, we have the mind of Mashiach. So if you're a spiritual man and you receive the Ruach, how can anyone judge you? You're not out of pocket. That's what Yahushua was trying to tell you to do. Get your game right, and now that divine sentence, your mouth will not transgress in judgment. But if you ain't got your mind right, then your mouth will transgress in judgment because you are not actually a manifestation of what you're speaking on. Come over here to Mark chapter 3. Because at the end of the day, it ain't really about how much book you know, how many mysteries you can unfold. It's more so of your ability to have the belief and adherence to what it is that you say that you profess. See, a lot of niggas take the word and change doctrines around to fit what they desire at any particular time. You know what I'm saying? If a nigga desire whatever, then he gonna come up with a doctrine to justify that desire. Or find somebody who's teaching that to justify that desire. You also always have to beware of people who move around to find something to justify something that they like to do. Or something that they would want to do. When the word teaching you to deny yourself. Not fulfill all your lusts. It's only one time he told you could fulfill some lust, and that was coming up for the feast day if you wanted a little something to drink. He said, you could take the money and, you take your sheep and sell them, turn it into some money if you was on a far journey, get whatever you wanted to eat. And hey, you want to use some strong drink? Go ahead, it's a celebratory time. It's a feast day. That's what he told them. And guess what them niggas ended up doing? Probably ain't even make it to where they were going because they done took everything and bought some liquor and just stayed to the house. Because that's what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what ends up happening because you take, when he give you leeway to do something, and you take that and use that as a pretext to justify your love. I'm really a drunk. I really don't want to come nowhere near this feast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take a couple of these cattle, couple I don't even want. You know what I'm saying? Take this goat with the bad leg, sell him, get this good liquor. I got this cognac. You know what I'm saying? Fine champagne cognac. You know what I'm talking about? Pour him up. Now I'm lit. I done forgot you who got a feast day, Sabbath, and all that there. Woke up next morning, butt naked, like no. No, Gillum went too far. See, Gillum didn't go for the liquor. Gillum went for the rock. That's what he was there for. He was there for man love. He was there for man love. But you got to think about stuff like that because that's serious stuff. Because that's what people do. That's what people do. You know what I'm saying? You're going to find something to fulfill what you personally desire and forget the fact that it's about you. And that's how the messengers of death come looking for you. I don't want to play. Mark 3:1. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him whether he would heal him on the Shabbat, that they might accuse him. He said unto him which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he said unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Shabbat, or to do evil, to save a life, or to kill? Now remember what it says, the divine sentence comes out the king's lip, what is out his mouth, he will not transgress. He just rendered judgment to them and a divine sentence. And look what they did, held their peace. What could they say? Was there anything wicked in his speech? Because these are the certain things that we have to consider, because we're during the time of unleavened bread, when you're supposed to be purging out the old leaven and make yourself a new lump. So you're supposed to be looking at things in regards to, what did the Lord do? How did the Lord do it? Why did he say what he said? Why did he do what he do? And when he looked around about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he said unto him, stretch forth your hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. Now look at the key point. He said he was angry because he was grieved because of their unbelief. And that's an example of praise Yahuwah. That didn't go down like that with Yahushua. How when you grieve the hearts of them who have authority over you, that's not going to be profitable for you. Because they were so stubborn and hard-hearted and stiff-necked that he became angry. And he could have easily became angry enough to lash out because he was in this flesh. But praise be to Yahuwah that Yahushua had enough self-control and belief in the word not to do that. Can you imagine coming to heal a people and save a people, and you doing it, and they trying to use that as a reason to condemn you and kill you? You don't think that would grieve your spirit? You don't think that would bother you? That I'm here to benefit and serve you, and you disrespecting and sizing me? And then you expect me to turn around and be joyful and cheerful and doing something for you? You got to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? That don't even make sense. That don't even make sense, but that's how we treat Yahuwah, and we don't sit back and consider that. Like, dang, I wouldn't want nobody to do me like that. Let me stop doing my husband like that. And you can take that either way you want to take it. That boy, that hard-headed, ain't it? Proverbs chapter 8. Hey, little Chewbacca baby. That's who he sounds like. Eight and 6. I'm trying to think. It's 3 people come to my head right now. Who do y'all can recall that an angel smote dead on the spot because of their transgression? People with off.
When the people put the offering in and the other didn't put nothing, they dropped dead in the synagogue.
I'll give you that. Don't read of the angels there, but that's who definitely smoked.
Y'all didn't do what he said. That'd be about
Yeah, he talking about the acts. He talking about we'll look at it in a moment. It don't say an angel did it, but yeah, they got took out. No, they said she dropped dead on the spot. He said, matter of fact, he said your husband dead and you finna drop dead, and when we take you out there to him. While y'all thinking on that there, let's look at that. Acts chapter 5.
Might be wrong. I forgot his name. Someone that did look back. Someone that did look back.
Oh, you talking about Lot? Or you talking about that prophet? Yeah, you talking about that prophet? He got ate up by a lion. Yeah, he got ate up by a lion. That's the prophet who he told, once you drop that word, which I send you to drop, he said, don't eat no bread in this place, don't drink no water, and don't leave the way that you came. And the dude walked up onto him and said, I'm a prophet of Yahuwah too. And he said, come to my house and eat bread. And his silly behind went in there and ate bread with him. See, that's an example. See, y'all women have to remember that too. get you out of, keep you out of trouble. If your husband told you to go 1, 2, 3, just go 1, 2, 3. I don't care what nobody call you and ask you to do. Just go 1, 2, 3, because you end up like that prophet, the lion be in the street waiting on you. Eat your whole body up. Leave you there. The lion guard his body too. Like I ain't gonna let nobody get these bones. Now I'm just using that as an example of sometimes it just pay to listen. And when somebody is trying to divert you from your marching orders, why are you listening to them? Because you were given marching orders. Because if someone can divert, because sit there and think about that. And I done told you this before. Like, you know what I mean? Like the king that sent, did the angel king him out? I think it did. I have to look. You talking about Ahab for that matter. I'm trying to think. Some people be like, why the spirit don't talk to them? And I done told y'all this before. Why would Yahuwah instruct his spirit to tell you to do something when he know you're not gonna do it? When he know that somebody could come tell you, hey, come over here and walk over here with me, when he told you, go down this way, sit right here and wait. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people get caught up because you listening to outside noise. Who cares what them people talking about and what they calling you to do? What were you told to go do? Do what you were told to go do. Stop listening to people who ain't got nothing to do with what you were told to go do. Because if you were told, I need you to go do this, and do this, why is you listening to 3, 4 other niggas talking about, come on, girl, come over to my house and this, that, and the third. Now you distracted. Now you ain't accomplished your task. Now when you stand before the king, he like, where's my penny? Oh, I knew you was an austere man. I hid it in the ground. Oh, you wicked servant. You testified against yourself. Now you're getting your head cut off because you didn't listen. See, the key point about listening is screw your own will and the appeasing of other people. I'm just using a natural instance, but let's just deal with it with you. I done experienced that. Go here. I ain't asking no questions. Just go. Didn't he tell Philip to go join himself to that chariot with that man with the Ethiopian eunuch? I would have Philip would have been like, hold on, bro. Somebody walk in. Philip, come over here, bro. 2, 3 people need to hear this word real quick. But what did the Spirit tell him to go do? Go join yourself to that chariot. Now, what you supposed to do? Go join yourself to that chariot or go try to preach to these 2, 3 people that this dude told you need to go hear some word. What you supposed to do? You supposed to go ahead to that chariot. You know what the average nigga do? Let me hit the people off with the word over here. Now you ain't went over there where you were told you to go. So now you done transgressed because you did not follow the instruction of Yahuwah, nor believed it, because he didn't tell you to go over there and preach to them 2, 3 people. He told you go join yourself to that chariot. Go do what you were told to do. You know what I'm saying? Stop listening to other people who trying to divert you from doing what you were told to do. If a nigga get mad with you because you say, no, I can't do that, I got to do this, that, then the third, and screw them and feed them donuts and let them die. Like straight up and down. But that's how you have to look at that. What were you told to do? You know what I'm saying? Do what you were told to do. Don't let outside people, because I'm using it as an example. Some of y'all let your friends and families get you off track from what you were told to do. Now you get upset because this man is upset with you because you ain't went and did what he told you to do, because you allow outside people to distract you and you feel like it ain't an issue. And it is an issue because you don't listen. You don't follow directions. Because when it comes down to Yahuwah, do you think Yahuwah wants to hear your excuses, or why you didn't do? Did Yahuwah want to hear anything that prophet said when he didn't do what he told him to do? He told me he was a prophet too. I wouldn't care what he told you. What did I tell you? That's how you have to look at it. What did your master tell you? Is it important what this person told you, or is it important what you heard from your master's mouth? And why would somebody come tell you something different than what your master told you to do? And why would you be stupid enough to listen to it? You know what I'm saying? Like period point blank. Oh, they say you can't gather because it's a stay-at-home order. I don't care nothing about that. What did my master tell me to do? See, the Ron DeSantis is not my master. Lenny Curry is not my master. Donald J. Trump is not my master. There's no man on this earth that is my master. My master sits at the right hand of his father. And he told me on every 7 days to have a set apart gathering. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? And my come on now, what did he told Isaiah to do? walk around butt booty naked. Now, what if somebody would have walked up and said, Isaiah, Yahuwah told me to put on these clothes, but Yahuwah told him to walk butt naked. What he's supposed to do? He got to walk butt naked. That's what he told you to do. But you know why you do that? Because that's what you really wanted to do. You didn't really want to do what your master told you to do. So you was hoping somebody would come through and tell you to do something outside of what he told you. Then when you get crashed, you be looking how Mari looking right now with his lip poked out. See, look at that face he got. You can't see it. That's how y'all be looking. Making that same noise, talking to your girlfriend. Look how you do it. You did yourself like that. What that nigga said on what's that movie? With Seth Rogen? Knocked up. Nigga say you embarrassing me in front of company. No, you embarrassed yourself, and that's what you do. You embarrass yourself. You played yourself. So go and get stick a quarter in your behind it, because that's what you've been doing, playing yourself. Ain't that right, Mark? Ain't that right, Mark? You've been playing yourself. You got a quarter? Okay. I'm good in 1 Corinthians, man. Where are we headed to? Excellent. You heard? You know what I'm talking about? You know that nigga a fool, man. Them videos get lamer and lamer these months. But in the beginning, they were fire. But he been doing a new thing since they quarantined. That nigga been giving commentary to videos, and that is his lane. You know that nigga got a whole TV show. I was gonna say he owned a whole TV show. Not owned, but I mean, I should have sounded on, not owned. Nevertheless, Acts 5 and 1. Ananias and Sapphira. And I'll get another person while we open it. Acts chapter 12. Liddell, you look distressed. If you leave the boy alone, maybe he'll be all right. You be grabbing him by the belly, he probably can't breathe. I don't know what you just said. Oh, he's trying to stand up on his behalf, huh? Yeah. Well, shoot, yeah, little Muffin Man's aggressive, so you got to watch him. A certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why have Hashatan filled your heart to lie to the Ruach HaKadosh to keep back part of the price of the land? What did we read earlier in 1 Chronicles 28? You know, all the imaginations of the heart. See, people be thinking they do stuff and they getting away with it and they playing Yahuwah, and you're really playing yourself. You're really making a fool out yourself. You're not getting away with it. He said, while it remained, was it not your own? And after it was sold, was it not in your own power? Why have you conceived this thing in your heart? You have not lied unto men, but unto Elohim. Ananias, hearing those words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear fell on all them that heard these things. I mean, that angel smote him down on the spot. Smote him down on the spot. And the young men arose, wound him up, carried him out, and buried him. That goes back to what I was telling you before. Like, they didn't have all that elaborate service. They got you in them linen cloths, threw you in that grave, and went about their business. Ain't nobody trying to be around all that uncleanliness. And it was about a space of 3 hours later when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yeah, for so much. And Peter said unto her, how is it that you've agreed together to tempt the Ruach of Yahuwah? Behold, the feet of them which have buried your husband are at the door, and shall carry you out. Then she fell down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, carrying her forth, buried up by her husband. That nigga tripped. That's a strong word by Peter. Oh, yeah? Well, guess what? Them same young men brought your dead husband up out of here. They come to get your taken behind. And she fell dead right on the spot, as she should. As she should. Gangster with it. You know what I told you? They harsh with it now. We'll read that again for you. He said, and it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. Peter answered unto her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And he said, yeah, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that you've agreed together to tempt the Ruach of Yahuwah? Behold, the feet of them which have buried your husband are at the door, and shall carry you out. Angel like this here. Peter already know that angel ready for you. He been waiting on you to get around here all day. You already know you're lying. He was gonna come in here and let you go ahead and confirm the lie. You're no good bastard Jew. Come on back over here to Acts 12, man. But notice what this is, right? This is a divine sentence, and the mouth is not transgressive. You know what I'm talking about? Make sure I'm in the right place. It's 12, Acts 12 and 20. Oh, Malia. How are you? Are you okay? Have you been listening? Yes. All right. Yes. Yes, you have. I appreciate that. Well, you way over there. You don't have to make yourself feel included. I'm not leaving you out. She's just right here in front of me. Are you listening, Sai? You'd like to be included, don't you? You are listening, aren't you? I appreciate it. Now, Grandma, you're not listening. What? Oh, you have fun. You're 5. Oh, very well. Well, dang, you trying to take my hand off? I like to keep it. I may need it one day. Acts 12 and 20. Oh, you like a high five too, sir? Would you like to be included? Come on, sir, and be included. You feel left out. He on the booty, man. He was happy, man. Let the man have his moment. 12 and 20. Acts of the Apostles. Herod was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon, but they came with one accord to him, and having made Pastus the king's chamberlain, their friend, desired shalom, because their country was nourished by the king's country. And upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made oration unto them. And the people gave a shout and saying, it is a voice of the God and not of a man. Immediately the Malachim of Yahuwah smote him, because he gave not Elohim the esteem, and he was eaten up with worms and gave up the ghost. See, the wrath of the king come as a messenger of death. He sent the angel, get you out of here. But you know why he got him out of here? Because the minute the people said, it's not a man, it's a God, he's supposed to say, praise be to Yahuwah. Let Yahuwah be esteemed. That's what's supposed to came out of his mouth. But you know what ended up happening? Let me kill you dead. There's another person I got to recall where it's at. I think it's in the book of Chronicles. What you say? I'm talking about the dude who bowels fell out his chest. It won't. I want to say that was dang his name. It wasn't Asher. It might have been Asher. Second Chronicles 21. and 11. Hey. That man don't want you to be around here blowing raspberries in his face. But that man don't want raspberries in his face. Oh, you're doing that with his lips. Oh, that's that man. Oh, I thought that was my apologies, Eugene. I thought he was doing that in front of little Joe face. I'm like, go spit all in the man's face. I know y'all matching and all, but I don't think he want to see you spit. Hey, stop that, boy. That's nasty. 2 Chronicles 21:10, or 21:11, excuse me. Moreover, he made high places in the mountains of Yehuda and caused the inhabitants of Jerusalem to commit fornication and compel Yehuda thereto. And there came a writing to him from the Elijah the prophet, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim of David your father, because you have not walked in the ways of Jehoshaphat your father, nor in the ways of Asa king of Yehuda, but have walked in the way of the Maliks of Yasharal, and have made Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to go a whoring, like to the ordinance of the house of Ahab, and have slain your brethren of your father's house, which were better than yourself. Behold, with a great plague will Yahuwah smite your people, and your sons, and your wives, and all your goods. And you shall have a great sickness by disease of the bowels, until your bowels fall out by the reasons of sickness day by day. Moreover, Yahuwah stirred up against Yeram, the Ruach of the Philistines and of the Arabians that were near the Ethiopians. And they came up under Yehuda and brake into it, and carried away all the substance that was found in the king's house, and his sons also, and his wives, so that there was never a son left him, save Jehoahaz, the youngest of his sons. And after all this, Yahuwah smote him in his bowels with an incurable disease. And it came to pass in the process of time, after the end of 2 years, his bowels fell out by reason of the sickness, so he died of a sore disease, and the people made no burning for him, like the burning of his fathers. Yahuwah tormented this man for 2 years, and let an angel torment him for 2 years till it's time to go. Another instance of him sending a messenger of death was that angel that was tormenting Saul. Let's look and see if he had him. No, Job, that one there wasn't. That was, you could look at it, but that wasn't the wrath of the king. No, that was more of a trial. He wasn't really mad with Job. But can you imagine your bowels falling out day by day? Strong diarrhea. When they say bowels, your inward parts, your bowels, your intestines, your belly, your digestive organs fall out day by day. And if they fell out, they probably fell out his butthole. What that dude say? For all the homosexuals, and they say they have a fire and their butthole, it'd be a flaming fire. That nigga was a retard. Now I say for disease, that word for disease is just a disease or a sickness. Whatever type of incurable disease it was, the text does not give. Now where incurable, it's got ayin marpe. So it's nothing, not, lack of, or lack of health. So when it says incurable, he had lack of health. Well, the word disease is kole, and it's sickness. He had a lack of health to fix that sickness. So whatever it was, this is how you know angels, because he ain't even giving no direct stance. Like, you never heard a nigga bowels falling out on the house without somebody shooting or stabbing them of some sort. This man had no wound, yet his bowels fell out of his stomach day by day for 24 months, 720 days, until there wasn't none left. That's how you know, don't fool with Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? Just don't do it. You're not coming out on top. You're not coming out on top. Now, you mentioned this the other day, like a divine sentence, and he won't. Let me finish this Proverbs 8, though, because I can probably lead into this tomorrow, because I'm about at my time for the day. Because there's more instances that I want to look at, because we didn't look at this stuff before with judgment, but some of this stuff is for a refresher, especially dealing with, because I want to save time for the hero code, because I need time for the hero. And give you time to look it up for yourself. You know, you have a great Greco-Roman hero code. A Greco-Roman hero code was basically a man who was either a warrior who died in a particular fashion or died in battle, and then they deified him as God. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you see certain celebrities get killed, and then the process that happens after that. Whether it be Kobe, whether it was Nipsey, whether it was Pac, they didn't really do it as much for Big. You know what I'm saying? But they deified it. Whether it's Elvis Presley or Marilyn Monroe, you know what I'm saying? They deify these people. Because they all the people that I named died young and under strange circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Now you can look up the story of Achilles, because the brother, I'm familiar. How many of y'all are familiar with the story of Achilles? Oh, you familiar with that? You learned that on your own. Oh, you only learned that from watching the movie. It is accurate description. Oh, so because it was Brad Pitt, huh? I know you did. I know you did, because you were sweet on R. Kelly, so why wouldn't you? Oh, you thought I forgot? You did. You told everybody. Y'all around there late night watching R. Kelly. I can't believe the object of my affection is a person.
Right, that's what I'm saying. First of all,
If you liked R. Kelly, you liked R. Kelly. You like this here, he could have ridden me like a G. How would you would do it? That's what he lied. That's what he lied. Man, y'all know when y'all be 14, y'all was 14, 15 years old, and there was a nigga on that TV, you would think about that man deflowering you with your nasty hot self. You like this here. You ain't got all them posters on your wall of them niggas for nothing. Because you really like his music. I bet you do. I bet you do. Pipe almost got him. What you know about what you know? But what you know about the Killers though? What you know about the Killers?
yes. What do I know about it?
What do you remember from a Killer? Because that movie was pretty accurate.
Not a demigod, but like he was half. God.
That's a demigod.
Yeah, he's considered a killing. And he was a strong warrior, and when he died, he was honored like God.
But he really was a man. He wasn't even no God. But you know the thing, what it was is the story says he was given an option that he could live a long life in obscurity or die young and be deified, and he chose to be deified. That's what the brother in the video was saying, that was the track that Kobe went on because he identified out of his own mouth. He identified himself with the Greek character of Achilles. Yeah, and the brother was saying that from his perspective that may have been a part of his programming, but the fact of McGrady saying that Kobe would already say he would die young. Like I told you, the dude said that they didn't know what he would do without basketball. So I could see where they would be like, you know what, that nigga like, you know what, I'll jump on the funeral pyre. I'll offer myself to ball because I would rather be deified as a god than to fade into obscurity. Because some people don't want to fade into obscurity because they're that. Kobe was narcissistic. I would say LeBron is about 10 times more narcissistic.
Yeah, man.
No, I say LeBron. No, I'm being serious. I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious. That nigga's very narcissistic. The reason why I say that he's 10 times worse. Kobe didn't care if you knew he was a narcissist. LeBron doesn't want you. He wants you to think that he's a good, selfless person. Like when you look at that school that he built, it's pictures of that nigga throughout the whole school. No, but it's not his. But see, that's the thing. What you incorrect on? It's not his school. That school system in Ohio owned that school, and Nike put the money up. That's what I know. That's all you seen. They run him out there. I promise you, thought he owned it. He just a face.
I didn't know that.
The nigga made a shrine to himself. Any nigga that make a shrine to himself is a special type of narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing, right? See, y'all a family, right? You got pictures of you. No, I'm being serious. When you got a family, it's normal to have pictures of you and your family on the wall. What you would strike you out would be weird if you walked in a nigga house, he had pictures of just himself all through the house. You know what I'm saying? But, just them, nobody else. Them niggas probably narcissists in vain if you press them on. Because the average person is just not gonna put up pictures of just them throughout their whole. Well, we already know y'all narcissistic by nature. You ain't said nothing. Cause y'all vain and narcissist. Y'all vain. You might see like this here. If you walk in a nigga house and he had pictures of himself like that on the wall like that, you think that nigga's weird. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm referring to. Not a picture of yourself on the counter on or whatever you call them things. I'm talking about pictures like that's what I'm referring to. Y'all are a family. I would expect to see everybody. That'd be different. You a family. Ain't nothing but pictures of Nisha on the wall. How many kids? Where your husband at? You know what I'm saying? That's weird. You know what I'm saying? You walking through a school, you thinking you ready to learn, and you got to look at this nigga with the spray on face. He everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not to mention that, and you know what? That goes into it too. That staircase that's in that school, that staircase is symbolic of that staircase. And I told y'all that too about it in the Joker movie. Because that's the traveling up to the ascension of enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? The whole school is just, oh yeah. I know that, but when you see that high steps that he had to walk up, if I'll pull it up when we finish. There's a picture of a Mason hog. I done seen it plenty of times. You'll see the two pillars. You'll have the checkerboard floor, and then you'll have the staircase going up into sunlight. All the time. So when you see in LeBron's school, it has that same type of staircase with two pillars and a checkerboard floor. Because basically he made a Masonic shrine unto himself. And called it a school and called it I promise. What you promise to the nigga? They going to hell? You know what I'm saying? Because they worshiping at the altar of LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you before, it's a lot of people respected Kobe more because he didn't care. Yeah, I know I'm better than you, and I'll tell you, screw you. LeBron this past, I told you, he's aggressive. He don't really want you to know that he's that self-absorbed.
You know what I'm saying? When nigga say that you're better than everybody, not in church crucified for that. It's like a little loser that man.
No, I'm just talking about, I mean, that's just talk because he gonna say that. But what I'm talking about is, I'm saying Kobe would just outright tell niggas, I'm better than you. How he did it, nobody, you know what, I don't like you. LeBron do it, but then he turn around and he play politics with it because he wants to be like, because he's making chess moves. I mean, he's a higher witch than most. I mean, of course you get, if Nike give you a lifetime deal, nigga, what type of witch you think this nigga is? That nigga's a high level witch. Nigga, they done got your booty hole for life. Nigga, this nigga's a high level Kabbalist. Let's just go ahead and cut the crap. That nigga's a high level Kabbalist. He hang out with Kabbalists and Jewish rabbis. That's who schooled him. Nigga's a witch. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? School the basketball stuff and this, that, there, and the third. Put that where it's at. It's entertainment. But when we dealing with the individual, this nigga show you to your face, I hate Yahuwah. I've been told you. Anytime you see a nigga do this here, put that on their eyeball, nigga, that's Horus looking through the butt of a young boy. Look it up for yourself. I've been told you that for years, ain't it? Nigga shooting threes, double this here, that nigga like little boy butt. Nigga telling he got a jumper. They with it. You gotta remember, nigga doing that, that's the all-seeing eye. Well, what you think that eye looking at? He told you all seeing, he trying to see your prostate. You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, it's the eye of Horus. Reason why, in all seriousness and not cracking a joke, eye of Horus, remember what Horus did with Seth, with the sodomy in regards to getting power, wealth, and riches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, remember I told you it depended, like, you know, say he masturbated, skeeted on some lettuce. Some say they had intercourse, and he ejaculated on lettuce, things of that nature. On lettuce. Read the story, Horus and Seth. Lettuce.
So we just eat a salad too.
It could be the lettuce, more than likely, honestly, was probably representative of the lotus flower, which is what, remember we were talking about that's what that tree of life is in the Kabbalah. It's the flower of life. And that same lotus is representative of the seventh chakra, which is for the mother goddess, and the lotus is the flower of Horus. Anytime you ever seen them pictures of like the mermaids and they be on clams, that's for the lotus flower. And let you know that that's I'm telling you, they do this stuff in your face. You know what I'm saying? You just have to know ancient mythologies and antiquity, and then you know what you're looking at. And when you know what you're looking at, and you see certain people who belong to these cults, then you know full well what they're doing and why they've done it. And then you no longer like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? You think they keep running Snoop Dogg out here saying this and saying that? They trying to do rituals on people. It's casting spells. All they're doing is casting spells. Remember what the text say. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. They're trying to teach you to have confusion and chaos in your heart so that you can be able to rebel against Yahuwah. And by product of that, that is witchcraft. Because they're teaching you to rebel. That's what hero cults teach you to do, is to rebel and to invest all your energy in someone other than your God. Then what ends up happening, you're going to transgress with judgment in your mouth because you're going to judge incorrectly, because you're going to judge according to your eyes and judge according to appearance, and you're not going to judge righteous judgment. But let me finish this here, Proverbs 86, man. Y'all willing we pick it up on tomorrow. He said, herefore I will speak excellent things. The opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All my words are in righteousness. There is nothing froward and perverse in them. There's no perversity and there's no rebellion in the words of Yahuwah. That's what you have to pay attention to. I close with this here. No. When y'all told Ezekiel to eat cows dung, to eat humans dung, what did Ezekiel say? He said, no, I ain't doing that. Now, why would he say, no, I ain't doing that? Because he know Yahuwah would tell him a lot of things, but he wouldn't tell him to go against that word. When he said, Peter, rise and eat, what did Peter say? I ain't never ate nothing common or unclean. Because he know Yahuwah tell me a lot. Notice of what's happening. You telling me to do something, but that ain't what my God, I don't care what spirit it is. The spirit of my God would never tell me to do something against his word. I ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the mind that you got to have. Because that mouth is not going to transgress the judgment. The mouth of Elohim is never going to tell you to do anything wrong. Not nothing going against that word. It's all kinds of spirits. But you got to make sure that spirit that's telling you to do something comes from Yahuwah. And the spirit that comes from Yahuwah will never instruct you to go outside of that word. They ain't never going to do that. But hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all time this evening. Yahuwah willing, we'll pick it up at tomorrow at 7 p.m. I bless y'all at the house of y'all name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing. Till the next time. Uh-huh.